So we were here at Novacentrix, and who are you?
Hi, I am Stan Farnsworth. I head up marketing and sales at Novacentrix and am one of the founding employees some years ago. We're here at IDTechEx event, Print Electronics Europe in Berlin in 2016. And what we've got at our exhibition area today is a few examples of our PulseForge photonic curing tools. And this particular tool, the PulseForge 1200, has been on the market for about 2 years now. We've seen a lot of adoption in a number of applications, and it's been very exciting from a technology developmental perspective. But one of the pieces we're really showing here at this particular event are some of the accessories now that we've developed that help to enable even more development and more progress and more innovation and more technology on behalf of our customers. And so this particular piece, this is called the EX1 Controlled Environment chuck. For photonic curing, one of the key topics is getting a good thermal coupling between the substrate that's being processed, the materials that are being processed, and the processing base. And so what we've done here is developed a porous graphite vacuum surface, vacuum chuck to hold down the material and get a very good thermal conduction so we can process a much wider range of materials. So on the key pieces on the side here, we have the vacuum feeds. We can also use compressed air and other gases as part of the system.
And then something goes on there?
Right, so the material to be processed would sit from an R&D perspective just right on the processing square here. One of the key pieces of this, though, is not just the vacuum chuck, but this is also an accessory that has the ability to heat or cool the material. So we can heat the substrate to a prearranged temperature, or we can apply cooling and get the substrate to a controlled lower temperature that really expands the process window for processing and getting optimal performance from the material. And how this is used, this is shaped the way it is because as we use it, we'll come over here to the sample drawer, put this on here, and we'll lower the stage down. We'll take off some of these accessories. So what we're doing here is we're taking advantage of the fact that the processing stage here was designed to be lowered to accommodate exactly this kind of test fixture. So we'll open this up. We can take this, and it just sits very neatly on top of the stage.
All right.
So now we can close the drawer, connect our couplings, and process the material. So this fits right on top of the existing tool. So customers that already have one of these can use this, and this really expands the processing capability for a number of samples. Applications where this is especially critical, we've seen this really enable opportunities in displays, in particular OLEDs and even some variants of more traditional LED technologies around allowing the photonic curing process and the PulseForge tools to process a variety of the OLED or LED materials as part of that complex material stack, but without damaging some of the more sensitive materials that companies are starting to use in those systems. So we're seeing
what
that.
kind of OLEDs are people able to do with your products?
Sure. So
different
kinds of lighting or displays. Really, it's the displays that's been a key interest for this kind of technology. As that community, the OLED community, the display community, is really going through sort of this hyper competition right now, where we're seeing in the press they're really being aggressive in rolling out active matrix OLEDs and some of these other new technologies. And companies are looking for any kind of technology edge that they can get, either to bring the cost down, to make the OLED performance higher, brighter, durability. Also cost is always an issue for production.
Is this for flexible OLED?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Flexible OLEDs, right.
This is printed electronics?
Yep, sure. Yeah, printed electronics. Now the OLED itself might be in a rigid display, but some of the key technologies that are being adapted for that are moving it towards being able to flex and curve.
With plastics?
Yeah, with plastics, also with flexible glass. Right, flexible glass is a key material as
Flexible
well.
glass. So all these awesome things are being possible with Novacentrix.
Right, so we're involved in a lot of them, not in all of them for sure, but as companies look to really expand the technology capabilities, we're finding that they're really interested and able to use this kind of advancement to give them more options in the materials that they use.
So since those years when you were part of the founding team of the Novacentrix, there's a lot of stuff happen in this industry.
Well, it's a huge amount, and this is an example. Wearables is a big topic right now. This is an example of just a concept device that was made with a group in Spain, the Eurocat group. We've been collaborating with them for a little while now. I encourage you. They have a video on YouTube actually. If you do a search for Eurocat, then you'll see how this shirt was manufactured. So there's a whole design process. Yeah, it's a Simon Says shirt, so we can turn it on and play and do patterns with it. As we think about other kinds, right? Oh, in fact, yes. Here's the video that's running. So they're screen printing different layers of the shirt and doing testing of the electronics to make sure that they're still getting functionality.
This is the future of smart clothing. This is a taste of how the future of smart clothing is
Absolutely.
going to
This is such a hot topic right now. The ability to take garments, textiles, and integrate some kind of functionality to it. Now there's a whole emerging industry space around, is that technology around fitness? Is it around style and design? All of that is happening right now as we speak. So also happening right now as we speak.
We'll check out, but you can direct the rest of your questions to standard now.
This new PulseForge roll-to-roll system that we've been implementing.
All right, so let me show it off right here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If you need anything else, it's always a very popular demo to show off your big machine.
What we've done here is take that exact same PulseForge 1200 photonic curing technology, that exact same equipment, put it into a different chassis structure, integrate it with a very simple roll-to-roll handling system in an R&D stage, and this helps companies and institutions and groups take the next step from moving with small sheets to rolls of material to understand the developmental challenges that they can be faced with moving to this kind of larger volume format.
So two of the most awesome things I've seen at this show is flexible OLED displays, flexible processors. So you will be involved in those.
We are involved in some of those, right. There are a lot of different technology cells happening in the community right now. What we're starting to see is that companies that have been focused on flexible processors, companies that have been focused on very specific OLED, light and display generation technologies, companies like us that have been working on conductive inks and processing equipment, all of these competencies now are starting to converge. And that's part of the benefit of coming to events like this, is it allows us to network and build relationships with these other groups that otherwise we're working in our areas maybe a little bit separately, but we can come together and take all of our expertise and really allow us to deliver something that, from a customer perspective, is much more interesting. So we can do these kinds of rolls of material. And this comes from a collection of competencies from Novacentrix. In this case, we're using a flexographic system from Harper, which is a terrific company, and they've been great to work with on the deposition side. We're using a near IR system from Adfos, which has also been great to work with. They're nearby. But it's this kind of collaboration that really is propelling and driving the space forward so that we can build technology solutions for the end users to be able to add value and build market with their customers.
So let's say the flexible smart clothing, smart displays, smart electronics, flexible everything. If that's the future, are you part of the R&D and also of the mass production?
That's correct.
Fab? Are you making the fab of the future?
Right, so we have production variations of this equipment in factories right now throughout Asia, some in the US as well. And that's really driving and enabling some of these new products. We're still at the early stage of that, so if we think of an adoption S-curve, right, the space and also Novacentrix are at the early stages of that adoption S. Now, fortunately, from a technology perspective, a lot of the component and constituent technologies are pretty well developed. So this equipment in and of itself is very highly developed. The components and the equipment and the materials around this room from the other companies are also very highly developed. But as I said, they're coming together to enable new products from our customers, and that's what we like to show here is that capability.
So you've been involved mostly in the R&D kind of phase, and then you will be part of even more now of the mass production.
Right. So most of our
future.
customers are R&D customers, but I can say that most of the equipment that we ship now is for production uses. So when we think of a percentage, the very high percentage of the customers are still in the R&D stage, and that's because they're at an institute or university or a corporate R&D center. But we have had some customers move all the way through this product development process and move into full volume production. People have objects in their houses or they own objects somehow through around them that were made and enabled by these PulseForge tools. Otherwise, they would not even be possible. And that's exciting for us to see as these technologies are absolutely being adopted. Inks are being used, and it's really validating that there is a role for these in the consumer community.
So if there's going to be those 20 billion IoT devices and wearables and everything, you could be a big part of,
absolutely.
Of making
Sure.
that happen.
Yeah, we're very involved in that whole space and helping to enable that. There's a lot of innovation happening there and a lot of creativity on the application side. You know, we think about innovation, we think about delivering products, but before all of that comes creativity and inspiration. And so throughout all aspects of this technology chain, from companies like Novacentrix, building materials and equipment, all the way through to the companies that are developing the actual IoT devices, we're seeing creativity, we're seeing innovation, and we're starting to see an increase in delivering products.
And feature requests from your customers to get new functions, new features, new stuff?
Yeah, it's evolving every day. Customers are trying to figure out what they want, so it's a collaborative discussion. That discussion hinges on our ability to effectively communicate to customers what the capabilities are, and some of our experiences and some ideas from our applications engineering team. But a lot of that also comes from the customers getting more familiarity with what the technology capabilities are, such as from companies like us, but then also what market opportunities and market interests are. That's driving requirements. And then on the very far end, it's the consumers who are starting to understand what they want and like in these kinds of products. So it's actually quite complicated because along this entire span from the end customer back through the different stages of product manufacturing and development to companies like us, the requirements and what the markets need are shifting. So it's really important to be listening, to be in strong communication throughout this technology chain, and then also to be able to adapt and respond quickly to changes and to an increased awareness of what the opportunities really are as everything is shifting.